Welcome back. This is Richard Kuhns, author of How to Get Your Life Back from Morgellons, chronic Lyme, and other skin parasites, welcoming you to Managing Stress. When it comes to Morgellons and skin parasites, who do you talk to? Who understands you? Who wants to hear about your misery? Who? Nobody. Your doctor, what does he do? He classifies you as delusional. Takes down your Social Security number. Every doctor you go to after that, check your Social Security number. You're a nutcase. You're delusional. Hey, you don't have an oncologist to talk to. You don't have a radiologist to talk to. You don't have one of maybe 5,000 different hospitals to check in. You don't have any of that. I mean, even when it comes to Lyme disease, there are a lot of Lyme literate doctors you can call and talk to, and they understand what it is now. You don't have any of that. Nothing. You got nobody to talk to. And yet, we have stress that is a part of our lives every day. The stress of getting to work, getting home, getting our work done. Stress of losing our job because of Morgellons, losing our career. Stress of living in a homeless place. I mean, stress, it mounts. And who you got to talk to? Who do you got to communicate with? Who can you go to? Nobody. Nobody. Nobody understands. We do. We understand. But the problem with stress is that part one of this program was about a special diet, the King diet. Once you get it to kick in, then it's like night and day difference, and you get a full night's sleep. Many people feel that they're even cured. There's no cure, though, but it feels that good. It feels that wonderful. But along the way is how we react to stress. Who on this call has not been angry because of how you were treated at the doctor's office or treated by a friend or family who classified you as nuts and, you know, a drug addict? Many of us are called druggies. So there's anger, there's frustration of just deteriorating day after day and not getting better, and trying this and trying that, and going on Facebook and seeing this and seeing that, and this guy gets better and all he did was that, but why isn't it working for me? And then seeing these weird pictures. You know, one thing here, we don't show these weird pictures. All right, they mean very little. They mean nothing. Totally nothing. All right, so there's confusion, there's frustration, aggravation. There's who hasn't been depressed after having gone to 3 or 4 doctors, or 30 or 40, and finding no response? And even if you find a doctor who knows and agrees with you that you're dealing with some kind of skin parasite or Morgellons, what the hell is the treatment that he's got for you? Well, yes, there are a few doctors in the country, maybe a dozen of them, that do treat Morgellons as Lyme disease, and they're called Lyme literate doctors, and they treat with antibiotics. If you can afford them, if you can find them, if you can get an appointment within 6 months, you'd be lucky. Okay? What do you do in between? Suffer? Who do you go to? No one. Well, that is a recipe for depression. So it's depressing to the point some of us want to take the other way out, jump off that bridge. That's how frustrating it is. So this is a place where we have for you to bring all those frustrations, aggravations, upsets, confusions, and convert them to a call to action. Get your life back through the protocols that has been developed over the last few years. Now, when we get stressed out, the connection with Morgellons is that the body creates hormones. You see, you don't have to be chased by a pit bull to activate the fight or flight. The fight or flight is whenever your intelligence perceives a threat to your being. It doesn't matter whether it's a threat to your physical being, as being attacked by a pit bull, or a near accident with your automobile, but it could be a social or economic threat. It could be a threat to your ego. And what happens is your unconscious intelligence starts kicking in the fight or flight. The fight or flight is defined by activation of the sympathetic nervous system through different hormones. Epinephrine, adrenaline, cortisol. Now, cortisol is the fight hormone. What it does is it causes a release of sugar into your bloodstream. So the hormones themselves are not necessarily an issue, except on a stress level, on another level, on a macro level, your homeostatic level goes up year after year after year, and at some point you may have a heart attack because of the stress. Well, that's a cumulative thing. But right now, on the micro, not the macro. The macro is the heart attack after a few years or some other disease. The micro is the brain creating the cortisol that dumps sugar into your bloodstream that feeds the parasites, feeds the activation, makes them healthier, makes them happier. So this is what we want to deal with. And one of the techniques we're going to use today is deep breathing, a technique. But let's talk about how the stress actually does impact being by being. So, Mary, would you read the email from Teal? And Teal is on the call today, and we'll open his line up a little bit later and ask him questions. So I liked his email that he sent in. So would you read that email he sent to us?
I sure will. He says, thank you so much for your support. I am living in hell with these diabolical lice mites, or whatever this microscopic flying bugs from hell are.
Let me just stop you there. Doesn't that say it all? I mean, who doesn't relate with that? Huh? Isn't that what we all felt? Yeah. Okay, continue.
I have had no romance or contact with friends or family. I feel like I'm going to die.
Yeah, right there. Social outcast. No romance. No human contact. I mean, God, that's the price that is paid by the ignorance of the medical profession, not knowing what this is, so that they can help us get on track. Okay. Continue.
It is hard for me because I live with roommates and no one else is affected by them, so I can't even disinfect the whole house.
Yeah,
I am
you're the weirdo. I mean, everybody else lives a normal life and can't see why you're such a downer. And that you got, they believe you're delusional. They don't even believe you. No respect at home, no respect at all. Hey, I love this email, the way he wrote it, because it summarizes how so many of us, where we are in the beginning of this fight. Please continue.
I am of very little resources, and the little bit of money I do have is all going to fight this. I had started a nonprofit to help orphans and the needy and had to stop it ever since because of this curse. For 10 years, I have lived with this. By the way, as far as the EMS situation, it is absolutely true. If I leave my phone off and put it in my pocket, they go rabid and bite me where the phone is.
Yes, let me just say he's talking about EMF, electromotive force. That some of it that's a cofactor. It could be microwaves. It could be your computer. It could be a television. They all emit an electromagnetic frequency, and some of us are more susceptible to those frequencies than others. Yes, please continue.
I had met this kind woman. We were having a long-distance relationship for months because every time we were supposed to get together, I would make excuses. She eventually got bored and left me. Like I said before, it's almost impossible for me to control the situation here. I am considering living in a tent in the woods where I can have a better control of the situation. But as I learned in the book, they can live even outside, so that probably wouldn't mean much to them. My second option is to buy an old cheap van, stripping it of all the seats and carpets and covering the one seat in plastic, and then covering the whole van in disinfectant every day, spraying alone in every crevice, and washing myself in a public truck stop, and then disinfecting the shower and driving away every night. My thought in this is to never let them rest.
Well, let me interrupt you again. I'm sorry, but, the idea about the truck stop, that is in theory fantastic, and yet I've had many truck drivers write me and tell me that that is the worst place to ever be, is a truck stop, because the organisms are all over many of those places. So you pray and hope that the truck stop you get is not one of those that are tremendously infected, and that every time you walk in there, well, you can always walk in with your electrostatic sprayer and wipe the place out, and then do your shower.
Okay, I just started reading the book, and it is a bit expensive, so it is taking me time. At this point in my life, I am easily overwhelmed, and though I'm trying to proceed with it, I must say I am a bit flustered with so many procedures. I can do any diet.
Yeah, overwhelm is typical, particularly, one of the things that most of us are dealing with when we first get to this point where we start reading this book and is brain fog. And you read one page, you say, what the hell did he say? You read it again. It takes you got to read the same page 4 times to figure out what was on the page. This is why people use Post-its to make. And when you're reading the book, the good thing to do is read the book with your eyes and then read it aloud. Read the page aloud again. The more senses you use, the better. And use Post-its and write down, because it is overwhelming. The organisms are overwhelming. They've overwhelmed your life. And it's only natural that what you need, it's important to do to get your life back, is going to be overwhelming as well. But it works.
I can do any diet. I don't need many recipes. So please, if I were to ask you the bottom line, is it that one must avoid carbs, oils, and MSG? I really can eat just meat and water for the rest of my life if that's what it takes. Please just give me the simplified version. If you say just eat meat and water for the rest of my life, I will just do that. I have no life. This thing consumes every aspect of my life. I am the living dead. I am throwing out all that I own, thousands of dollars worth of things I have collected just to be initial and mobile. They are deeply embedded in this house. I am saving money for my van. I have a good job, the best job I've ever had, but I'm going to have to get a job working remotely to avoid people. I'm going to become nomadic and live on the road until I get this controlled. The thing is that everything takes a process. I live paycheck to paycheck, so I have to wait till payday to do anything. That's another 2 weeks of purgatory. At this point, I want to reinstate my nonprofit to dedicate it to this. I can only imagine how many are living in this hell with no one in sight. Thank you again for the bit of hope, even though right now I am a bit overwhelmed by all the procedures in the book. God bless you, TL.
So I think TL expressed probably where everybody's been to one degree or another. He's touched base with everything, basically. Can we open the lines to TL? Do we have?
I just want to, while that line's getting open, don't go and live in your car or van, because once a car or van gets infested, it is way harder to get it clear.
Keely, your line is open.
Yeah.
Hi,
Yeah,
Tina.
do not do that. And also,
just,
there's ways to disinfect. I mean, that's the whole point of the book. You need to do the diet, and you have to read it, and you have to look at the foods, and you have to figure out what to eat. It's not, we're not going to tell you just eat meat and water, because that's not healthy. It's a healthy diet. And the other thing is that the book has ways to disinfect your clothes and disinfect your stuff and disinfect your house, and you can get free coaching. But that's what you have to do, is figure out how to do all those things, not just throw everything out and live in your car and eat meat and water. That's not going to do it. Just saying.
Hi, TL. Did you write that, TL?
Huh?
Yeah, hi. Well,
Hi. Did I do what?
did you write that email?
Yes, I did.
Yeah. Well, we sympathize with you. We all sympathize with you. So many of us are in that predicament. So anyway, in the first segment of this program, I hope we discussed enough about the diet that so you know, have some direction there.
Yeah, I'm good.
Good. Okay. As far as living with your friends and where you are versus the van, Robin has feelings against the van. Personally, I think it depends on how you move into the van. And that if you can make sure that you're basically on the diet and not reactive. You know, until you have that diet kick in, you are basically a walking, talking breathing machine. This means these organisms are going to be shedding from your body and wherever you go. Yeah. So if you simply move into a van, you're going to be taking them into the van with you. You're still going to need to be disinfecting your environment in that van. You're going to be needing to clean it out. But you may be in more control of the van than you are in your present living situation. So it's no easy yes or no, but you'll have to look at what you need to do to effectively move into that van. The good thing is that hopefully you want to choose a van that is not infected already or has a problem. And, you know, the likelihood of that is not very high that you would do that. But we've had people on the program who have moved from one apartment that was infected only to go to another apartment and find it was infected. So obviously, before you're going to move into that van, I would recommend using an electrostatic sprayer and spraying it down and making sure you clear it out as much as you can. Cross your fingers and hope that you're moving into something that is uninfected, which most likely you will be anyway.
Yeah. Hey, so let me ask you, right? Once I get the diet to work and I get it under control, will I still be like able to infect other people?
Once you kick the diet in, you're going to be basically symptom free. You can keep your own diary. I used to keep a diary, and I rated it like 0 to 6. 0 was no activity. 6 was itching and biting, like waking up at 3 a.m. and misery. When I got down to about 0.5 to 1, I considered myself relatively clear. So the thing is, basically, before you socially interact with other people, you would want to be taking a bath, if you can. I think we had another lady on earlier, Melanie, who was talking about only using the shower. So you can do this in the shower as well, to lather yourself, turn off the water, wait a few minutes, about 3 minutes, and then turn the water on again, and wash off your body and then dry. So that's going to be the key, is to get to the point where you have little, if any, activation, basically 0 activation of any crawling or biting on your skin. And then I'd say, as far as I know, you can consider yourself safe.
Yeah. Yes.
Now, the point is, if you go on a date and you go out to dinner and you go to some place and you order something and it's not on the diet, and you can be reactive within 15 minutes and you got a problem. So that's kind of like the experience I shared in the first part of this program, where I had a glass of wine and became very reactive within minutes, which then becomes a social disaster.
Mm-hmm.
So better off go picnic and take your own food with you. That's what I did for years. If I date, in fact, I have a book about internet dating, and what I did when I was single is I would actually take a picnic basket. I would take shrimp and butter and whatever I wanted, and we would have a date at her place, and I would make dinner. And for some reason or other, it seemed that women love that. You get to know them over the line and or whatever, and it's a great time, and demonstrate your cooking skills. That way you control your food if you're going socially.
Yes. Can I ask something?
Sure.
So here's the thing, right? So in order for me to disinfect this environment, I'm thinking that I'm just gonna do the part where I move around them, because actually I don't think that they're being attracted to anyone else. So if anything, they're only in my area. Do you hear me?
Well, not everybody is susceptible to them. They can be everywhere, but for some reason, it could be. I mean, Mary is looking into the idea of the pheromones, and certain people emit different pheromones, and the pheromones they may not be the pheromones that these bugs like, and so Mary's looking into that. We have the parasite stop formula. So you could be with 200 people and nobody else would be impacted by them, and you'd be the only one and you'd be the nutcase. But it doesn't mean they're not there in the environment. They're just not being impacted by them, the other people.
Right.
Okay. So two last things. So if I could just get myself to be free of symptoms, then I could move out of here and like I said, whether it is a van or whatever, and start working on cleaning that other environment, and I'll have a better chance of not affecting the new environment. Am I right? That's one question.
It's not just your environment; it's your clothes, it's your stuff, it's your vehicle.
No, everything. I mean everything.
Yeah.
I mean the whole thing.
It's a process. You're going to need to plan it out. You're going to need to think ahead and maybe do a little experimentation. But yes, Robin's right. You're going to be doing your laundry. You're going to be doing. You said you have things to throw away. That's not always necessarily important to throw things away. It's sometimes important to figure out how to disinfect them and how to maybe store them to a point and get free, and then later on go back in with a hazmat suit and start disinfecting things.
Hey, let me tell you, from reading your book, I'm starting to think why I attract. Another reason why I attract them, and I suffer from gallbladder and liver stones, and so that I might have some sort of Colombia or some sort of bacteria in my gut that is attracting them.
No, that springtails are not in your gut.
No, Dr. Rymore of Oklahoma State University looked into this years ago, and there is no one thing that stands out that it doesn't matter what your education is. It doesn't matter what kind of health problems you have. It doesn't matter what kind of blood pressure. It doesn't kind of matter how your heart is working or how your gut is working. None of these are factors. I think the only thing he didn't look into is pheromones. And I think the pheromones are the answers to why some of us are impacted by them and others are not.
Yes, okay. Absolutely.
So, Well, anyway, thanks for sharing. Good. Keep coming back to the program. We're here to support you, and you just have to think ahead of these organisms. The first thing is for you to get into knowing what to do, so that when you get to the point you feel comfortable to move into a van, that you're not contaminating it as you're moving in. Okay.
Yes.
And you have experience in writing grants.
Well, actually, like I said, I started to get involved in this a few years ago, and I was going to take some courses and get, in grant writing, which is not a big course. It's just a supplemental course. I did get my nonprofit going and everything, but then this started, and I had to isolate myself. But now that, like I said, that lately I just never want to give up on that idea, what I wanted to do. I like to help and everything like that. And right now, I would like to reinstate it into somehow making it work for this.
Well, that would be wonderful if you can do that, because there are so many people, as I mentioned before, that this disease has left stranded in terms of finances. They've lost their jobs, six-figure incomes. They've lost their careers. They're outcast and whatever. And I mean, GoFundMe pages are one thing that you can do for yourself. One fellow did that and was getting some support to help with his expenses. I mean, I would hope to at some point that somebody joins us who has connections with a philanthropist with a few extra $1 million and can set up a program for people who are down and out and would like to get their lives back. I mean, we have the protocol, but we can't solve that problem, unfortunately. So we have our limitations. We can help to some degree, but beyond that, we need somebody with grants to help with people, and that would be a complete program. I really wouldn't want anything to do with it. Just turn people over to them and help them get their lives back.
Yeah, I don't know. I am definitely considering this, and maybe I could stay in touch with you personally. We could bounce ideas, and I will look into taking this course. Maybe I can take it online. This
Sure.
course of grant writing. I mean, to get better at it.
Yeah.
Maybe
well,
we could, stay in touch on this and bounce some ideas off.
Good. I'll be glad to discuss anything with you that I can. I know nothing about collecting funds or organizing funds. I know nothing about it, but I know everything about how this disease impacts all of us. I know that. Okay, thanks, Teal.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, Robin, so we're going to do some deep breathing.
Yeah, I think that would be good for
Okay,
today.
deep breathing. Do a little intro. Tell us why to do it, where to do it, how to do it, and then I'll turn it over to you right now.
Okay, well, you can do deep breathing anywhere, but if you do it in your car, don't shut your eyes if the car's on. And you want to either sit down with both feet on the ground and sitting up straight with your shoulders down and relaxed. Same thing if you're standing. You can do it when you're walking around. You can do it in the doctor's office. If you're going to get your blood pressure checked, if you do deep breathing beforehand, your blood pressure will go down. So we are going to breathe through our nose, and we're going to breathe out through our mouth. We're going to breathe from our diaphragm, which is in our belly. So when you breathe, your shoulders don't go up. Your belly goes out. And then you use your stomach muscles to push the air up and out. We're going to breathe in for 5 seconds, hold for 5 seconds, and then do a slow exhale for 10 seconds. And while we're deep breathing, we're gonna I'm gonna say things that I like to think about, like joy and peace and victory. And you can use that, or you can think of your own things. And I recommend, if you can deep breathe, use it as part of a meditation or prayer routine. It will It will bring you more peace and calm and energy. It will also help with biofilm, I think. So, okay, we're going to get started. We're going to take a cleansing breath and breathe in, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sit up straight and hold, 2, 3, 4, 5. And slowly exhale and imagine every cell in your body being filled with joy, pure joy, and breathe in. Imagine the sun shining on you and all your cells are like flowers, and hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, turning to that light and smiling. Don't forget to smile because that changes everything. 9, 10. Breathe in and imagine peace flooding every inch of your body and every corner of your home, and hold, 2, 3, 4, 5. And peace is going to drive out, exhale, anxiety, and it's going to drive out parasites. They're going to flee before you. 7, 8, 9, 10. And breathe in. Imagine walking barefoot on a rug in your home and nothing attacks you, and hold, 2, 3, 4, 5. And breathe out and just know you are going to be victorious. 7, 8, 9, 10. And one more. Breathe in and believe that the diet works and you are going to feel better, and hold, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then slowly exhale, release anxiety, let it shed off your skin, just like parasites are shedding away from you. And that's it. Take one more deep breath and a cleansing release. And if you have water or cistus tea, take a nice drink of water to cleanse toxins from your body that you've just released, and they're gone. Okay.
Fantastic. Thank you, Robin. Was that cistus tea you're drinking?
That was lemon water, actually. I have some cistus tea here, but I went for the lemon water this time.
I saw.
Lemon also helps break down biofilm, and so if you're drinking water with fresh lemons and a little bit of stevia, you're helping break down your own biofilm all the time.
I saw a Facebook post where Dr. Klinger was talking about Dr. Klinger. He's a world-renowned expert on Lyme disease and other diseases as well. Was talking about the value of cistus tea. And I'm thinking, why isn't he talking about boosting glutathione? Missed the obvious, but cistus tea is a good thing to start with, and we do have it in our store. It's a fantastic tea. We got a lot of great teas there.
That's true.
Anyway, managing stress. So we're here to support you. We're here. You can come on and share your story. We have a buddy coach now. Well, Lee is our buddy coach. She began the capacity last week. Has anybody sent you a request for buddies?
No, I have not gotten any requests. If somebody has sent one and somehow I missed it, please let me know, let Richard know, let Robin know, and I'll...
How can they reach you, Lee? Because I had a couple of people ask me, and I didn't get to write down how to reach you.
Let's take care of that.
Wait, not yet.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Stop
Okay.
recording.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's actually, I noticed that Richard's sending it, next in the emails that we're receiving.
Okay.
It's the correct address is there.
Okay.
For my email. So.
But,
all right.
Okay, this is an opportunity for each of us because there's nobody really to talk to, and it's an opportunity for everyone on this call to find a buddy, to have somebody that understands what you're going through, to communicate with.